Appreciate it. Well, the number of tornadoes in Kansas can vary year to year. Kansas is in prime geographical spots for severe weather with, of course, the Rockies to the west, and then we've got the Gulf to the southeast. But many of us may have noticed the lack of severe weather across northeast Kansas this year. Fox 43 News Storm Track meteorologist Evan Bedron has more.
Severe weather season in the Great Plains of the United States usually means to be on high alert for storms, but for many northeastern Kansans, this severe weather season was quite unusual. Northeast Kansas saw only 2 weak documented tornadoes the entire season, and as many of us remember, last season was not the same. The most notable event, the EF3 Westmoreland tornado, produced significant damage to homes along a 50 to 100 yard wide path. But in recent years, there has been conversations on whether there is a shift in Tornado Alley away from the plains into the southeast. We spoke to Chad Omit, a warning coordination meteorologist with the National Weather Service office in Topeka, to get his thoughts on the subject.
One of the things that's been interesting about what we've seen with the tornadoes across the South is that they've occurred in areas where you have a greater population density, and more of their tornadoes often occur at night, and so the vulnerability is higher, and so a lot of times the outcome is worse, and that leads to, I think, a more of reporting. It's more of a newsworthy event when people are hurt or killed, and so we hear more about that as well. And so I think there's a perception that Tornado Alley might be shifting away from parts of the plains. That's not the case. I think the better description of what's happened is more of an expansion of Tornado Alley. They call it Dixie Alley, and so it has its own name, and so this is not a relatively new thing for them down there, but it's certainly something that we've heard more about, oftentimes because of the poor outcomes of people being hurt or killed.
Chad also says that down years like this year could be followed by a more active year. We had around 40 tornadoes back in 2014 and 130 the year after in 2015. And so the biggest takeaway from this past severe weather season is to expect extremes in Kansas and consider ourselves lucky because next year could be much more active.